line.
I think he made it. Here comes the call. First down.
After review, when the receiver touched down by contact, the ball was at the 12-yard line. This is enough for the first down. At that point, please put 4 minutes and 57 seconds from the game clock.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. If you're joining us on YouTube, if you're joining us in the chat room, I don't see anybody in there, so. I don't know about that. All right. It's going to be a little bit of a slow start because the game is not over. There's still 4:57 to go and a lot of seeding matchup variations in the AFC side. If the Raiders hold on to get this win, and that's a trip. That's a first down on the penalty on the Raiders. If the Raiders hold on, they're up by 15. That's 2 scores. They will go to holding. Oh, all right. I thought I saw a trip.
We knew going into this game that Rashawn Slater would hold his own against Ngakoue on the other side, and it was going to come down to this matchup.
Yeah, that's also a trip, but they called the hold. All right. I see the hold.
And so far, you have to say
Crosby sticks his leg out. That should be a trip. But anyway.
Crosby wins almost every battle. 103 yards in penalties.
Anyway, so the Raiders hold on to win. They go to Cincinnati, which is an interesting playoff matchup because the Bengals have not won a playoff game since 1990 season, in which they beat the Houston Oilers. The very next game they played was against the then Los Angeles Raiders. The Raiders won 20-10, but the other thing that was interesting about that, and I'm sure I'll repeat it if people join the room, is that the Bengals haven't won a playoff game since, and they broke Bo Jackson's hip, and I call it the curse of Bo Jackson. So what better way to exercise that 31-year long-running curse than to play the Raiders themselves, if the Raiders win. If the Chargers win, then the Chargers would go to Buffalo. They've played the Bills twice in the playoffs before. No, I'm sorry. Correct that. 4 times in the playoffs before. The 1964 and 65 AFL championships, plus the 1980 divisional playoff game and 81 divisional playoff game.
He was down. No. There's the play. He goes down, falls in his hand.
So they're going to give Max Crosby credit for the sack based on a trip.
And nobody's home there.
Chargers did not come to play, just like the Colts did not come to play earlier.
Yeah, they tried to go double move on the outside to Mike Williams, and then he just
did the Bills, let's see, in 81 they beat the Jets in the wild card. Then they lost to the Bengals in the next round. So they've only played the Chargers 3 times in the playoffs. But if the Raiders win, the Bills will get the New England Patriots. And there's a couple ways you can look at that. As one, well, it's the only divisional loss they've had in 2 years. That is big-time pass interference. And they're not going to call it. I don't know what I'm seeing that they're not, but.
Man, that was some throw that time by Herbert right into the basket. Take a look at how the ball got out. And try to go for the whole.
They're going to say.
The one-handed catch and
no, he didn't look back. That's pass interference.
4th and 21, they can get.
Well, they played the Bills and Chargers played 3 times. The Bills and Patriots have only met once in the playoffs, and that was a 1963 divisional game. Well, they didn't call them divisional games, but it was the right to win the AFL East. Touchdown Chargers. Wow, he threaded that needle. So the good thing there is that there isn't a lot of playoff history The Patriots won that game in 63, and they would go on to get blown out by the Chargers in the AFL Championship. So whatever.
The Raiders were thinking the same thing I was. Jared Cook went down the left side. He drew the coverage, and they just fell asleep.
What do we got? The NFC side is set. We can talk about that while we finish this game. See if the Chargers go for 1 or 2. They need to go for 2 on one. They're going to go for 2 here. So, timeout's going to be called by the Raiders. The NFC side is set, and we have an interesting trio of matchups. No NFC game on Saturdays. They announced the schedule will be. Bengals will host the early Saturday game, the 4:30 game, and the Bills will host the 8:15 game. Meanwhile, the Sunday will start with the
argument against that you want to know now.
Buccaneers hosting the Eagles. They've met in the playoffs a couple times. 79 divisional playoff. 2000, I want to say wild card. Those are the Eagles and Falcons. The 2002 NFC Championship game was also won. Let's go Philadelphia. Head-to-head.
And that is going to
They got the 2-point conversion, so now they're down by 7. 29-22. Interesting. Eagles and Buccaneers. 79 divisional, 2000 wild card. 2002, the NFC Championship game. And then again in 2003, and I believe that was a divisional. No, that was the NFC Championship. It was the 2002 season. The 2001 season, they met in the wild card. And 2000 was wild card as well. So they'll actually... Yeah, that was 2000. So they met 2000, 2001, and 2002 seasons, 3 years in a row. So they have a history. Then the 4 o'clock game, the Cowboys and 49ers. And my goodness, is there playoff history here or what? Let's talk about it. 1970, 71, 72, 81, 92, 93, and 94. And all but one of those games was for the NFC Championship. 72, however, was one of the most entertaining games of their matchup. It was in the divisional playoff. The Cowboys won all the games in the 70s, but the 49ers' victory in 1981 is known as the catch. If you don't know what that is, you don't know football. Then in 3 straight years in the NFC Championship for the right to go to the Super Bowl in the early 90s, 92, 93, and 94, the Cowboys winning 2 out of 3, the first 2, and then 49ers taking the 3rd year to go to Super Bowl 29. The final NFC game will be the Rams and Cardinals playing on Monday Night Football, the first Monday night wild card game. We've had Monday afternoon playoff games around back in the 70s and 80s when Christmas, when the divisionals were played around Christmas. So, but this is going to be the first wild card Monday night football game, and it'll be the Rams and Cardinals. The Rams won the division today, even though both teams lost. Mariota on the Wildcat. But they met twice in the divisional round in the 70s, in 74 and 75, and the Cardinals won both. I'm sorry, I'm completely wrong on that. The Rams won both. The Rams will be the home game. It'll be in the site of Super Bowl 56. And then, of course, getting the byes, the Green Bay Packers and the Tennessee Titans. Now I ask you, what do you think? Who do you want to win the Super Bowl? Leave me the answer in the comments. And quickly, I'll go through. Back in August, right here on this channel, I predicted the Bills would lose to the Buccaneers in the Super Bowl. Although publicly I'm sticking with that. It is not what I'm rooting for. I do not want to see Tom Brady going to an 11th Super Bowl. I'd really like to see the Bills and Packers. Anyway, tell me what you think in the comments. And that's Vinny's take, and we'll talk to you later. God bless America.